Sorry guys, I've not been uploading because I'm too rich.
In my car right after a beer, hey, that bar.
With part 2 of Sakamoto Days ending, I know I'm pretty late. It is a surprising showcasing that this part was better in some areas that I had a problem with, but I do think there's still a lot of downsides about this adaptation. All in all, I think the show can definitely deliver the hype when it comes to it, although again, by maybe even looking at the opening, it's pretty obvious that some departments definitely struggled. Not struggled, more so it's just not good. I'm not saying it turned to another JJK, but consistently, it definitely delivered in a per episode status, you can say. Part 1 had a lot of weak episodes in terms of animation, even if the content required it. I think the climactic moments of Boyle vs Sakamoto should have been at least like the previous episode. I mean, what else really is there? Like, from the top of my head, the best looking episodes in part 1 was probably episode 1, 4, 9. I don't remember anything else. But this part, most of the episodes had really good animation highlights comparatively to part 1. I did get a bit worried when episode 1 rolled around, but slowly it got better and better. The CG usage was used more, maybe for only the part stuff, because it's the Tokyo fucking tower. And the action, as always, really packed a punch. Zombies. Ray gun? Pack a punch. It's not denying that the action direction in Sakamoto Days can really carry some fights, even if there's limitations in some moments, which can be very important. I think a good comparison that this season had that didn't have the best action, well, not really action direction, more so about audio direction, is Kaiju number 8, season 2. I don't know what the fuck the sound director, whatever, or whoever did this, but they like muffled the fucking sound effects and even the music to the point it's just stupid that you don't even hear it. I do think calling Sakamoto Days animation bad is objectively not true, but there is still a lot of stuff that needs to improve in terms of animation. Sakamoto Days is a material that requires a lot in the action, more so about the style of it. It is just dumb fun action that sometimes doesn't make sense. In a way, that's good because it's an anime, you don't need to be realistic. I mean, does rolling the wheel so fast that it can just launch you into the fucking sky? I mean, that kind of makes sense. Or another, yes, I've downloaded your moves through sound. Is the slapstick nature that gives Sakamoto Days that thing that people wanted from the manga or in the action, but the anime sometimes doesn't deliver that. While animators like Tetsuya Ishikawa, who has always delivered very good cuts, or just being the action AD, or just carrying Sakamoto Days as one of the main animators, and Fujio Suzuki appearing in episode 6 with probably the best cuts of raw animation power, and the storyboards by Koki Onoue is great too. The problem is, I think having animators like Ishikawa as the main animation power for Sakura Days doesn't really fit well with the show. I do think a show that relies a lot on, again, the slapstick action, although sometimes it's more serious. I'm gonna say slur. It doesn't match well if the animators like Kano or Kyukawa, like what Mushoku Tensei and Soul Leveling had. It's something more appealing and make more sense. It definitely needs that whip gen energy, but Ishikawa and Suzuki is not really new animators, although Suzuki's animation looks really good, but the timing is a bit all over the place. It doesn't have that same timing as what new gen animators have. I mean, you can see it more on the opening, how Tetsuro Araki captured that goofy nature of Sakamoto Days fight with, of course, his connections in with studios. And of course, storyboards is another thing, but if you don't have the animation to capture that ambitious boards, then that's not gonna work at all. That's also another problem, that raw animation power. Sakamoto Days didn't really have that. They literally abuse Kakani so much, which is not a bad thing, but it's pretty obvious that they are using it a lot because lack of talent. If you don't know what Kakani is, it's a program that auto-generates the in-between frames that the animators submit their work in to generate the in-betweens. It's not AI. That's not stealing or being retarded. A change that most people, including me, that really contributed to the show a lot is the compositing. Although the art direction and comp is most of the time mediocre, if not bad at best. The comp layering on the characters is more cleaner. You don't have that useless texturing work that you had in part 1. I explained it already in my trailer video about part 2. It's more softer and the shadows on the characters doesn't use that brush that makes it like this, I guess. Although from the looks of things, part 3 or season 3 will go back to that style, kinda. Comp contributed a lot, making the good looking drawings more visually appealing and just making it more stand out. And of course the overall show that the part with Sakamoto and Slur looks amazing, color palette wise and comp. Same goes with this random shin shot that doesn't look like it's from the show anymore. While I think this part is better than the previous part, there's still a lot of improvements that needs to be done, but that's not gonna happen. Atelier Musa is like the terrorist of art direction in anime. Can I even say that? Of how fucking bad they are at art directing. And it's more vivid when we went to the forest. My neurons was like, oh, the forest? My Hero flashbacks. The forest looks absolute dog shit sometimes. I mean, look at some of the shots here. What the fuck are these backgrounds? And I also tweeted out there's a specific scene where the art direction just changed. It felt like it was by a different person, which it could be. But not just that, the color design is nothing to be praised about. Again, the opening is just such a breath of fresh air that Araki constructed. Yes, you might think it's an opening that the runtime is way shorter. They can focus on more scenes with more time, but that goes without saying that it's just a better presentation for Saka Days. In the anime, the color design and overall aesthetic, it's nothing to be praised about. There's some really good ideas, only sometimes though, but most of it can be very unappealing. While in the opening, it just looks better. Yes, the director of photography for the opening is not the same as the anime. It's a different compositing artist, being Yuki Teramoto. I think this is from Araki's connections. And of course, the director Araki is just a better director compared to Masaki Watanabe, the director for Sakamoto Days. And another aspect is that the compositing artist does make or break your anime project in terms of aesthetic. But if you don't have people like Kentaro Waki, Hiramoto Shiu, Shingo Yamashita compositing that you can automatically recognize their style of post-processing, then the director is also at play for the aesthetic. Not saying if you have these people I mentioned before that they can do whatever they want. They can, but it's up to the director also. If they are a good director, go with what they want in the show, like the style or aesthetic. Araki wanted a more playful color palette for Sakamoto Days opening because from his previous opening that he did, like Danger to My Heart Season 2, Spy Family Part 2, and Blue Box, he went more for a realistic comp than the unrealistic color tone / color palette that this opening had. A good example is that with JJK and Chainsaw Man, Teppei Ito, the director of photography for JJK and Chainsaw Man, you see the difference. Chainsaw Man went for a more realistic / cinematic aesthetic, while JJK went more for Goso / simpler aesthetic, so that it's more flexible for certain episodes to be different because that's what the directors wanted. Same goes for JJK Season 1 and Season 2. Sung-woo Park is an amazing director for action, but for just being a serious director, he's nothing special comparatively to Shota Gosuzono, and you can see more of Goso's unfiltered vision that he couldn't craft in Season 2 because it had a horrid schedule, but now Season 3 had a better schedule. And also the fact that there's already a base that Goso planted in Season 2, so it's easier to change it, you can say. That also comes with experience. JJK Season 1 aired in 2019, while the most recent work from Teppei Ito is Chainsaw Man movie, which is in 2025. So 6 years difference is a lot to improve. Same with like Akane Fujihara, probably my favorite compositing artist. You see the difference when she did OPM Season 1 in 2016 to Freewind in 2024. Massive gap years, improvements, you get the gist. While there's really not much to talk about part 2, it goes without saying that this part is better and more consistent. I still think Sakamoto Days deserve better when it comes to adapting the source material, but I'm still enjoying the show nevertheless. Unlike, hopefully I can squeeze another video this month that's not OPM related, because for a breath of fresh air for you guys, because for the next 3 months it's OPM milking season. If you guys like the video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a like. Comment down below what are your thoughts about Sakamoto Days Part 2. Did I do a better job or not? And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.